Rapper T.I. has been arrested in Atlanta, or at least a country club gated community that he lives in the area. This was in Henry County to be exact. Now, police not only arrested him, he was charged with a number of misdemeanors, including disorderly conduct, public drunkenness, and simple assault. So what did he do exactly? Turns out that he attempted to re-enter the gated community that he lives in while he was drunk, or at least that's what the police are alleging. Now, he apparently didn't have a key to get back into the community, to get into the gate, and he tried communicating with the security guard who was there. His lawyer says that the security guard was asleep and it was hard to get him to wake up, but a verbal altercation ensued. And we don't have very many details as to what was said, how it was said, but nonetheless, let me give you the details that we have at this moment. So Henry County Police Chief Mike Ireland said that T.I. was arrested around 4:30 a.m. after he got into an argument with the security guard. Clifford Harris, which is his real name, had lost his key and the guard wouldn't let him into the community. His lawyer says, quote, the rapper was wrongfully arrested. He claims the guard was asleep when his client arrived at the guardhouse, and it took, quote, some time to wake up the sleeping guard. At some point, they actually called T.I.'s wife to confirm that he does in fact live in this gated community, and she did confirm it and said let him in immediately, but the guard refused to do so. Police were called and he was arrested.
Okay, so as I read the headline, I thought, well, this depends. And I'll tell you what it depends on. So if you're going into your own gated community, number one, it depends. Do you have a key? If you have a key or an ID or whatever that lets you in and the guard doesn't let you in, then he's totally wrong and it's outrageous what happened. In this case, he didn't have a key. Okay, well then we go to point number two. It depends. Can he call someone inside the gated community in the house to let him in, or does he not? And if he doesn't, and there's no one to vouch that he's actually T.I. and lives there, well, then the guard is right. And he's like, look, man, you say you live here and I hear you, but I can't, it's my job to not let you in unless I've got some evidence of that. But in this case, he did call the house. The guard called the house and the house said, yeah, that's my husband, let him in.
Yeah.
So why on God's green earth wouldn't you let him in? You know, it might be that that whole discussion about waking up the guard, which seems like, so what? Who cares if you had to wake up the guard? Might be a reference to the fact that because of that, they caught feelings on both sides.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. But look, I don't know if race plays a role. I don't know the race of the security guard, but it's hard not to think that it does. That if there's a gated community where a white person comes in and says, call my wife, no matter how drunk they are. You know how many times I've gone into my own house drunk? That's kind of how it works, right? And if the wife says, yeah, let him in, and they don't let him in, that has got to be a minuscule percentage of the instances.
Yeah.
So that's what we're worried about here.
So for me, things really started to take an extremely negative turn when they called his wife and she confirmed that he lived there and they still wouldn't let him in. At that point, they completely lost me, because you're right, Cenk. Look, we don't have evidence of what was said, how this all played a role. Like the simple assault misdemeanor, why? Why was he charged with simple assault? Like, we don't know exactly what happened. But I will say this. At the point where it's been confirmed that I live in this community and you're denying me entry to my own property, that's when I get extremely angry and upset. And by the way, you're right in saying we don't know if race plays a role in this, but here's what I do know. I do know that living in any situation where you have to deal with gatekeepers, a homeowners association, any type of gated community, any type of condo or townhouse community, it is the worst situation. Do not get yourself involved, because people are up your butt constantly, right? And it doesn't matter what your race is. I have that experience on a regular basis. The people living in the same area, same building, whatever it is, they question everyone, they harass everyone. They're just incredibly, overwhelmingly unbearable. And so just don't, I know it seems great to live in a gated community or an HOA situation, just don't, because this is what you're gonna have to deal with regularly. Yes.
Okay, so, but look, if you're T.I. and you've seen the news lately that a woman going to Yale is questioned for sleeping at Yale in the dorm that she's in. The guys get kicked out of the Starbucks, they're African American, and the list goes on. The guys get called, they're at a barbecue, the cops get called on them. Again, they're in the neighborhood. Why? They live there, right? And so now he lives there and he's made a lot of money and he's got a really nice house. And they called his wife and she confirms, yeah, he lives here.
Yes,
and
I
the
know.
guard still says no. I think that he gets to be A, super frustrated, which is what you're saying, and B, he gets to wonder if it might be about race.
No, by the way, let me be clear. Of course that is a potential factor, and of course he gets to wonder about it. I'm not saying that. And by the way, I also want to be clear that I'm not trying to blame him for living in a gated community. I'm just saying that, look, property owners, just people in any given neighborhood, they get insane when it comes to keeping the neighborhood safe or whatever, right? And it gets a lot worse when you're in a homeowners association type environment where people have the justification to constantly harass you or harass people that they think might be dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Which then often leads to discrimination based on the unconscious biases in people's heads. Who do they view to be a danger? Right?
Yeah.
And so now, lastly, and maybe the most important part is, okay, people caught feelings, the guard and T.I., whatever, okay, it's 4:30 in the morning, etc. The cops, when you show up, you're supposed to say, hey, does he belong here or does he not belong here? Did you call the house? Yes. Did the house say to let him in? Yes. We're done with it. Then the cops, you know what they could do? They could escort T.I. to the house. They could knock on the door and say, hey, ma'am, is this your husband?
Exactly.
Yes. And we're done with it. But instead, well, you defied any kind of authority, even though you're totally logically correct, right? But we're not gonna let you into your own house that you paid a ton of money for, right? And instead, since you defied a security guard, we're gonna arrest you. And we're gonna do this laundry list of charges. And look, if T.I. was upset and he's yelling, I guarantee you the cops were like, how dare you, right?
Yeah.
But think about, why is he upset? Is there a chance that he's right? Did that ever occur to you?
I really want to continue this conversation in our members only postgame today because I have a lot to say, not just about this story, but just, we talk about privilege a lot. And just this past weekend, I was in a situation where I literally yelled at someone in the homeowners association, right? No one calls the cops. Anyway, I'll give you the details to that because it's just night and day, the way people get treated. And I think it's important to differentiate. So we'll talk about it.
Yeah, so tyt.com/join to become a member so you can get all the post games that happen, of course, after the main show. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.